and welcome to February of 30 days of building self-worth and also self-appreciation. Today we're talking about something called the sorry syndrome, and I'm going to be sharing an exercise with you on forgiveness when it comes to self-loyalty and self-appreciation and forgiving past versions of yourself that maybe you're not so proud about or things that you keep holding on to. So thank you for joining me today. Make sure you share this with your social platform. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, drop a comment below, drop a diamond below. Also Saturday, I'm going to be hosting a free webinar on how to attract your soulmate. And you're probably like, Tanya, what are you talking about? You're a single girl. Yeah, but I'm clear on who I want and what I'm going after and the woman that I have to become in order to attract that type of a caliber of a man. And so I'm going to be teaching you everything that I've gone through and everything that I've gotten to interview some really successful powerhouse women. And I'll be hosting that on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, just right before Valentine's Day. So if you guys are like in and out of like messes, number one, tune into every single one of these episodes, as well as coming to join me on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So let's get into this. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's day 7. Today is day 7. We are 1 week into February of building self-worth, self-appreciation, and I would love to know some of the things that you're integrating on a day-by-day basis. It's one thing to take a concept, but the biggest thing that I want to give you guys is practical daily tools in order to make the necessary shifts that you need to get the results that you want to get. Remember, think about this as a workout, and every single day you're putting in the daily repetitions to build yourself up versus break yourself down. So today is really about shifting the old, which is creating reason to be sorry or to say you're sorry out of habit. It's called the sorry syndrome or the apology syndrome. It comes from a fear of conflict, low self-esteem, or desire to constantly seek validation and approval from others. And you may feel like you're taking up too much space, that you're asking for too much or being disruptive, people-pleasing, assertiveness, and standing up for yourself. Man, this one hit home when I was reading it, when I was actually writing it down, because this is something that I struggled with for a long time in my life. Was I felt like I was too much. I was taking up too much space. I've just always had a really big personality. I've always wanted to do massive things in the world. And I just didn't know how to manage all that stuff. And so for a lot of my life, I went around just kind of apologizing for my existence, which really, I think that's what got me into a lot of the dark spaces. And they do say like this syndrome of consistently apologizing for practically your existence, for taking up space, creates and leads to suicidal thoughts. And I was in one season of my life, a few seasons of life, where that's exactly how dark of a deep, dark space it took me into. And so to prevent a lot of this, we're going to understand where it came from and what to do about it. So it stems from a fear of conflict, low self-esteem, seeking validation and approval from others. You may feel like you're taking up too much space and just constantly wanting to please other people. What to do instead? Just say, it's okay to take up space. I'm here on purpose, and it's my birthright to take up space. It's my birthright to say what I want and say what I need and to be unapologetic about it. Now, here's the thing, because I see sometimes people, and I was in this season too, where I was like, I'm not saying sorry for anything. Listen, you guys, sorry, and there's something called epigenetics. It's the power to shapeshift belief systems. And know when, I believe that we have categories of everything in life, and the part that makes somebody emotionally intelligent and wise is knowing what to use, when to use it. I truly believe that's what allows somebody to be an extraordinary human being and to be at a higher advanced level. And you can tell too, people that are at advanced levels in specific areas in business, they are just very discerning. They're very wise. They know what to use, when to use it. And think about like you have a bunch of tools and you're pulling these power tools, but it's one thing to have a power tool, it's another to know how to use it. Like when you're not gonna use a power drill or a hammer to take off a license plate. You need a screwdriver. So it's knowing what tool to pull when you need it, and then how to use those power tools, how to use those power drills. So say I'm sorry when you mess up, or when you do something, or if you insult somebody and they feel offended, because feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings matter. And we are all human beings, and we all have a background of things that we are working on healing, ideally, hopefully. And so sometimes during certain seasons of life, people are going to trigger you and you're going to trigger other people. But this whole 30 days is really about your relationship with yourself and how you are treating yourself. So of course, as you start to work on this, it's going to expand into every other area of your life. And one thing about business is you are dealing with people. It is people behind machines, and always remember that. Now, when the effects, if we consistently stay in this space of apologizing for our existence or saying I'm sorry all the time, it leads to guilt, shame, anxiety, and then, as I mentioned, suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies. It's a hard time to ask for help or to be assertive in a common situation. One way to shapeshift this is ask for help when you need it. Something that I practice is when I do need help, something as simple as I'm carrying something and I ask somebody to open the door for me. It's very uncomfortable for me to ask for support or to ask for help. It used to be. Now it's a little bit easier, but I still have that like trigger where I'm annoying somebody, or I'm being inconvenient. And these are just my own insecurities. And so when you actually give yourself a new experience of asking for support or asking for somebody to pull us. I was at the gym the other day. I said, hey, can you reach that for me? I'm like tiny here. I'm only 5'2". Can you reach this for me? And I leveraged off of this gentleman's help, and he's like, here you go. And he's like probably like 6'3", and he helped me out. And so when you start to just ask for help when you need it, something super simple, that starts to build up the momentum to achieve and ask for support in heavier areas of life. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to give yourself permission to have an opinion. Give yourself permission to think for yourself. Give yourself permission to take up space. Give yourself permission to know that you belong. And if you don't feel like you belong, that you create a space and a segment in a community where other people are attracted and they feel like they belong. But the biggest thing is like creating those ecosystems in those environments where you feel that you can authentically be yourself and take up space. Stating the I statement to express yourself and your feelings, your needs, versus apologizing for them. And then a self-affirmation is going to also help you tremendously, is I am worthy and deserving to blank. I am worthy and deserving to be here. I am worthy and deserving of taking up space. Sometimes these things are heavy. And so when I first started the process of working with affirming new statements and reclaiming control over my thoughts and learning to become my greatest asset versus my greatest liability, I would just start with, I'm in the process of learning what it feels like to ask for support. I'm in the process of asking for support when I need support. I'm in the process of saying thank you versus I'm sorry. I'm learning how to transition this because it's a habit. It's a certain belief that transitioned into a habit. And so as I'm shifting my habits, I'm in the process of having that patience and that grace for myself. And then here's another thing. If you still feel guilt after apologizing, today I'm going to take you through a forgiveness exercise, which has been tremendously impactful for me. I think we've all been through some really trauma, and there's traumas not to compare to anybody else's stuff, but if we don't if we're not aware of it and we're not learning about ourselves and why we operate in a certain way, or why we behave, or why we're apologizing for our existence, or why we're consistently saying I'm sorry when it has you have nothing to be sorry about, that comes down to a deeper rooted issue where I realize this forgiveness exercise I'm going to share with you today has had tremendous impact with when we forgive ourselves and we forgive others. Remember, this February is really about self-appreciation, but when you're in this season of forgiveness, there's segments of your heart starts to operate more effectively, and you begin to give yourself a really strong pulse. And a lot of times there's people walking around, and when we're self-depreciating every single day, we start to weaken our pulse. Your pulse is your life force. Your pulse is your vitality. Your pulse is the way that you're showing up in your business life and your relationships. And so when we forgive ourselves and we forgive our past and we forgive those things that we keep carrying with us into our future, into our present, they're weakening our pulse. They're weakening our life force, and they're the past. So in order to fully move forward with full force and power, forgiveness is necessary. Now, I've done a lot of readings and taking courses on forgiveness, because it's one thing to say it, but it's another to experience it. And a forgiveness is kind of like you're shackled, and there you have a key. Forgiveness is that key to unlock the chains that are weighing you down and slowing you down, so you could finally break free and move full force forward with a really strong pulse, to have have vitality in your life and to feel like you're actually creating a heaven on earth. So I'm going to start with this now. You can close your eyes. I'm really big on I close my eyes so I can see, so I can go inward, and I always love to go inward before I go outward. So I check myself, I charge my energy, and then I go ahead and I serve you guys. I serve people that I love. I serve whatever I'm doing, but before I do that, I have to serve myself, so I can fully give you the best of me versus a weakened, depleted version of me. So you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to see that past version of you that you are mad at, that you feel has betrayed you, that is somebody that you are not proud of, that you want nothing to do with, that you're ashamed of, that you're mad at, that you're angry with, that you might even hate. And you're going to see that past version of you. You're going to get clear on that age that you were. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was a few years ago. Maybe it was you when you were a teenager. And you're going to feel the pain that that version of you had caused for just a few moments, and just take a deep breath in. And you're going to ask yourself, why did you do that? Maybe they're going to say, I did it because I was afraid. I did it because I was angry. I did it because I wanted revenge. I did it because I thought it was going to get me ahead in life, and it was like a shortcut. And then think about what you gained from that experience. What were the virtues you gained from? Maybe I learned that life is, nothing good comes out of me operating from a space of anger. Maybe I realized that I had to build a certain type of characteristic trait in order to become this woman that I am today, or to become that man that you are today. Like, what did you gain from that experience? And just sit with that for a moment. And then you're going to say to your past self, I forgive you, and I ask that you forgive me. And if you're thinking like, why would I ask them to forgive me? Because you've been holding on for that anger for so long. You've been holding on to that shame for so long. You've been hiding. You've been playing small. You've been apologizing for your existence. And you're going to take a deep breath in, and you can even put your hand on your heart, and you're going to exhale into forgiveness. And feel whatever resentment, anger, rage just release from your body. Your body is your subconscious, so when you're holding on to the anger of the past, or the shame of the past or whatever you're holding on to, it will create a dis-ease on a cellular level, and eventually all of this will catch up to you. So it's better to just release it now. And then you're going to have your past self, you're going to look at so after you saying this to your past self is going to say to you, you're going to say, I forgive you, and I ask that you forgive me. And then you're going to feel whatever emotions get brought up, anything just released from your body, clear yourself. And what I like to do too is I like to allow that past version of me to like almost energetically give a big hug and merge into one, because the forgiveness allows you to move forward with the versions of you that's what makes you authentically you. Your past experiences and the lessons that you've gained from them is what allows you to be authentically yourself and to have the wisdom that you have and to have the knowledge that you have and to use it for the greatest good. To use it for the greatest good. Oh, thank you so much. I love you too. And so you're going to take that information, you're going to apply this anytime you need it. There's still moments where I have to forgive myself and I'm like, damn it, why did I do that again? And then I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's forgive it. Let's clear it out. Let's bless it. Let's thank it. And let's move forward. So I hope you enjoyed today. This was a very powerful exercise that I shared with you on forgiveness, but also on, from here on out, a new virtue to claim is to take up space and to no longer apologize for your existence, to no longer apologize unless you do something and you mess up. Then you say, I'm sorry, okay? Because there's a power in just saying, I'm sorry without the but. I'm sorry, I fucked up. I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. Don't put that but after it. Just say, I'm sorry. And that's the biggest thing you can say to yourself. I'm sorry. I messed up. I did it out of fear. I did it out of thinking I was taking a shortcut. I did it because I'm sorry, period. And then you can move forward. There's a power on a cellular level that allows you to break free from the chains. Remember, think about forgiveness as a key to unlocking the self-imprisonment. So I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. If you loved it, please share this with your social platform. Share this video. Thank you for all the love. The best thing you can do out of love is to share these videos for people that have maybe been praying for something like this or praying for some words of encouragement. And then also make sure, one of the things that we're doing is 30 days of self-appreciation. Of course, continue on for here on out. But if you want this, it's TanyaColiver.com/calendar, and you can receive this. And this is just you signing a commitment contract from here on out, moving forward, that you promise to start appreciating yourself. You start to appreciate your life, your existence, your past, your present, your future, and to fully show up with the strong pulse and the vitality that you need in order to just do amazing things in the world. And then that alone is going to impact your business, your life, and your relationships. So I hope you guys have a blessed up day. I would love to know your greatest takeaway from today. And out of the 7 days so far, we got about 3 more weeks left in this series. And I will see you hopefully on Saturday, but I'm sending the link inside of the email. So make sure you subscribe to TanyaColiver.com/calendar to receive this inside of your email. All right, you guys, hope you have a blessed day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, you guys.